Uh-oh, there we go. Mike's in. Hold on, folks. We got we got a late edition coming in. We're on a small delay right now. We're on a small delay. We got Mike about to pop in.
Come on, Grandpa, figure it out.
P Jack, anytime now.
What's going on? Yo. Welcome to Qwality Sports Bets. Here with your host tonight. Not your annual host, but your new host for the night, P Jack, along with my partner, my guru, the experienced legend in the group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. College football Shrap. That's what I am. And we got Mike in the building now too. Mike, take over the hosting duties, buddy. Sherman Clump over there is jagging his ass off.
What's happening, y'all?
All right, there we go.
Oh man, welcome to another episode of Qwality Bets. Your host with the mostest. Oh man, it's been a long week. Been a long week of research and bets, but we here now. Week 1 college football. Man, good to see you guys, man. All right, so let's win some money, man. What we talking about today? What we talking about?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate myself for starting off with the big win with Penn State last night. It was never in doubt. They had it the whole way. It was an easy win, no sweat whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have to worry about none of that. Clifford, James Franklin, they got it done. We're good. You know, we're back at it.
Hey, thanks for having me cheer for Penn State for a little bit, man. I took a -3.5 live when it was 28-24.
Yes, sir.
Felt good. So glad to pull that one out with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're ready for tomorrow's slate now.
PJ, you cashed yesterday too, thanks to the Schwab, right?
I did. Me and Shayne talked about it earlier. You know, you get some of these plays at different sites. You did not that half point matters, and I ended up hitting West Virginia plus 7.5 last night versus Pitt, which was an outstanding football game, by the way. Two great football games to start the fucking week 1 of the season.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
And to think, and you know, of course, Narduzzi started that game off in vintage Narduzzi style by kicking a field goal on 4th and 2 from the opposing. I think it was 30. You know, in a game that what did it end 38-31 or something? You know, there's going to be a shitload of points. You're sending the field goal units out there. A college kid on 4th and 2 at the 30, like vintage Pat Narduzzi there.
I love it, man. All right, well, without further ado, man, let's give away some winners, man.
Yes, sir.
What we got this weekend, man? We talking college football right now.
All right. I'm gonna kick it off. with the 11 a.m. Central Time slate tomorrow. We're gonna start off with Michigan -30.5. There we go. At Bet Rivers -110. It might be you probably find some 30s out there, but I took it at 30.5. So gonna be honest. Look, man, I think this is just a complete mismatch, and I think there's no reason to think that Colorado State can keep this game close. Their defense is horrible. When you look at Michigan too, from just an overall standpoint, everybody, you know, there's an old saying, right? You got 2 quarterbacks, it means you got none. But to me, it's like McNamara is good enough. And with the schedule that they play, look, Michigan's not good enough to win the national championship. I think everybody can agree with that. But with the schedule that they have and, you know, the talent they have, I don't see a loss on the schedule besides Ohio State. And I think, like, you know, Harbaugh knows you got to kind of, in these games, man, you got to run the score up. Because go to the end of the season and you know, some of these teams are going to get docked for playing closer games against bad teams. And Colorado State's a bad team. So this is a game, you know, Michigan home opener, Ann Arbor, 11 a.m. There's no reason to think that this is cool. I see this as like a 45-7 type game. Michigan, easy money.
All right, y'all got it there, man. 30.5 points. Woo! PJ, what you think about that?
I like that, and some of the reasons Shayne spoke on is it'll be interesting to see the play calling Michigan go for week 1 and week 2 because they got 2 quarterbacks that they claim they're going to make a decision on after week 3, which I think they're full of shit. I think they just don't want the young kid to transfer. I think if you had announced him as a starter week 1, that kid would have been in the transfer portal already. So it'll be interesting to see how they play call and what's the starter now? What's the kid's name again?
McNamara.
McNamara. I think he knows that he has to play extremely well in order to keep his job after week 2. So going into week 3. So I think he'll probably want them to be aggressive. They probably will be aggressive. It's opening day. I think they cover that one easy. Probably first half.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at the first half line too. I'm not sure what it is. Probably half of that or something. But this should be a blowout. There's no reason to think that it won't be.
Okay.
You know, unless Harbaugh's, I don't know, still he had a weird off season, you know, with a lot of his comments and the controversies that he got into. So, and some of that NFL stuff. I wonder how real some of those rumors were, right? Where he was going to go take over the Raiders and then Miami. I'm kind of curious, is he that next guy that just goes back to the NFL?
Harbaugh wasn't bad in the NFL either, man. You know, PJ knows something about that. So,
he wore out his welcome around men, around pro players.
Yes, he did.
I think he's, he's a very smart football mind for sure, but his antics and the way he says that's only there's a difference between college and the pros, man. The stuff he does in college, that's gonna always work. He can always be successful if he just stays at Michigan. But I don't know him going back to the pros. What the longevity of that?
Nah, there's definitely a difference between leading men and leading boys for sure. So that makes sense. So, well, let's see if he leads them boys to 31 plus victory, man. All right, y'all got that. I think these are our first official plays too for the season that aren't futures also. So
yeah, we're going.
Check the website. Go ahead, Shayne.
No, I mean the shows we're giving picks out for the weekend games. We'll be giving it out for the NFL, and right now it's just full steam ahead. College football. We got a full slate tomorrow. We got games tonight. We're back, man. It's here. Labor Day weekend. You already know.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So yeah, these are our first official plays. Also check the website goodifitgoes.com. Our boy Schwab, shout out to the Schwab. He put up some plays. He already want to know. Like PJ said, he gave away West Virginia last night. So if you check the website and you rock with us, you cash last night. So I got my first official play coming in now. You could throw the graphic up, Quan. So I got Houston -4.5. I think that the books are giving the Road Runners a lot of respect. I see that it's down to -3.5 now. But I had it at -4.5. I think the books are giving them a lot of respect just because of last season. Now, the Road Runners from UTSA, they bring back their front seven, and they had a really good defense last year. But I just feel like what Houston is bringing back is a lot more better. Now, Houston, they need some offensive line work, so that could be some trouble just because UTSA is bringing back their whole front seven. But Clayton Tune, the quarterback for Houston, he a stud. I think he one of the more slept-on quarterbacks in college football. I think it'll be a 2-score game. And so it's at UTSA, which is an indoor stadium that gets loud. Houston been practicing all week, though. with the crowd noise and all that, the fake crowd noise and whatnot. So I think Houston gonna be ready to go. I think they're gonna be a contender in the AAC this year, like they have been pretty much for the last like 4 out of 5 years or so. They've been right in the mix to win that conference. Especially now that Cincinnati probably take a step back, which we talked about on the pod a little bit last night, Shayne. You kind of touched on that. Um, but I think they get this year off to a good start. So lock it in, man. -4.5. Houston Cougars over UTSA Roadrunners. The Roadrunners also screwed me at the end of last year too when they were undefeated. And they took an L. I had them in a parlay, and I was just like, that's what I get for betting on UTSA Roadrunners. So we're not gonna do that again. And like I said, you can get it at I think -3.5 now actually. So
Yeah,
uh
the market moved
little
against you on that one. Yeah.
yeah, a little bit of line movement there, but I'm still riding with my -4.5. I don't think it matters really. So y'all got any insight or uh any contrary comments or anything like that on that one, or y'all gonna ride with me?
I don't really have much on that one, man. That game really never kind of jumped out at me. I do agree with what you said about Toon being underrated for sure. And Holgerson's a good coach. Really don't know much about UTSA right now. I've been more kind of focused on other conferences, but I'll definitely sweat that one out with you.
Facts. I put a small play on that to follow you. I'll tell you on that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Toon's a really good player. Dana Holgerson has always been a good coach in the
Yeah,
right place for him. But having an entire front seven come back is scary. So I can understand why that line would be where it would be now, knowing you have an entire front seven coming back. Probably some guys off the bench that played last year too. So they're gonna have depth and they're gonna be able to play some defense. So, but Dana's always up for tricks. He gonna throw the ball around. He gonna run his motions and shit like he always does. So that's gonna be an interesting game to watch. I
Yeah,
say
Houston's a team that's always like,
you bring it up. It definitely will be one that I'm gonna keep my eye on throughout the day.
yeah. Okay, well, lock it in, y'all. That's my first official play. That's not a future rather, for this CFB season. And man, let's get some cash, man. I feel good about that one. That one jumped out at me just because I've been liking Houston, just they sports programs, period. They football and basketball teams. I think I like commented in the chat not long ago, like, man, like Houston just football and basketball. They're like are just like up and coming. Like this the Houston I heard about like growing up, basketball and football. So I'm
bro.
kind of excited about the program just in general. I am in Texas now too, so I do notice a lot more stuff about Houston as a school, just period. So they jumped out at me. Like I said, UTSA screwed me last year, so I'll be trying to get them back. So, all right.
All right. I'm going with Mike. I'm going with my favorite play of the day that's available at current numbers. I'm going to go over 56 in App State and North Carolina.
Okay.
That's a 2x play. For anybody that doesn't
Okay.
know,
The 2X play. Let's
2x
get it.
baby. Let's go. Unload a clip. Look, man, this is pretty self-explanatory. We know North Carolina, they can score, right? Even though they lost Howell, their offense is going to be fine. And when you look at what happened last week, they gave up 24 points to Florida A&M.
Yes,
Florida A&M?
that
Who?
was
If Florida A&M put up 24, what's App State going to put up? And I mean, I just don't. To me, this is a game where I don't see that many stops. And these are teams that are going to. These are both teams they're going to go for it on 4th and 2 at the 40. They're not going to kick a field goal on 4th and 3 or, 4th and goal from the 2 or 4th and 2 from the 35. They're not going to kick a field goal. They're going to go. Like these teams are playing for touchdowns. This is two pretty good offenses against two, we know North Carolina's defense is garbage. App State, we'll see, so. But I think the ingredients are there for a shootout. To me, this has got like 34-31 kind of written all over it.
I love that play.
Let's get points. Let's go.
I love that. I watched North Carolina versus FAMU last week, and with all the players they had suspended and how bad they looked on defense,
Bro,
I mean,
there's and North Carolina, man, they breed athletes on that offense too every year. Fast ass athletic running backs, good wide receivers. I mean, but they're still going to score points. And their defense, like we said, 24-4 to A&M. I mean, App State, they're going to put up points too. This is going to be fun. I think that's going to be a entertaining game. That's a defense is optional kind of game. So I like it. We'll see what happens. Let's go.
Well, I'm on that with you, Shayne. So I'm definitely gonna tell that. And I damn near like that one more than our other two plays we gave out. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think that's I think we primed to get a lot of points there. So y'all heard it here, man. And that's a 2-time play, 2 unit, 2 double, whatever you want to call it. I'm still waiting on that 100-unit well play for Shayne. I'm still waiting on that, bro. So, but until
Vegas Shayne coming to a tout site near you.
So I'm still waiting on that. But until we get that 100-unit well play, man, it's gonna have to do. So, P-Jack, man, what you got for us tonight, man? What you cooking up over there?
So I got a couple plays. You said tonight. The one I got tonight is I really like Michigan State to cover the -21 versus Western Michigan. But the two, I spoke to Shayne about this earlier, the two that I really like going into this weekend is Utah -2.5 versus Florida in Florida.
You could argue you could argue this is the game of the weekend. Two very good teams with the smallest spread. But go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Utah's not. I think that, like I said, I was telling Shayne earlier, I think the points are as low as they are because it's in Gainesville. I think if this was a neutral site game, I think it's probably a touchdown. If it was in Utah, I think it's a touchdown, maybe 8-9 points. I think Utah is probably the best team in the Pac-12 this year. I know Florida's got a good quarterback, but new head coach, new scheme. They just didn't look that well all at times last year, and I don't. There's not much coming back offensively that I think outside of the quarterback that can help them score a lot of points, especially with this Utah team. Utah's got a lot of players coming back on defense. They tried some different things. They looked really good in that bowl game last year to end the season versus Ohio State. They went punch to punch with them, and they were experimenting on defense. And I think now these guys settle in. They very well coach. You'll never out-coach Utah. You're going to beat them. You're going to beat them on talent. And I think this is one of these games where they come in and I think they handle their business and they get a lot of national spotlight with this win.
Yeah, I ain't got a dog in the fight, man. I looked at this one weeks ago and I was like, "Yep, staying away from it," because I don't know what Florida team is gonna come out there, and that's the whole thing. Like,
right,
Florida, if Florida won by 2 scores, like I would not be surprised just because of where the game is. But I respect Utah a lot, and I think the AP and the coaches and pretty much the rest of America gave Utah a lot of respect on their offseason just based on what they bring it back. I do agree that if it was neutral site or in Utah, it would be a lot more points on that line in Utah's favor. But I just don't know what Florida team gonna come out there, y'all. I'm really unsure.
Look, man,
I can see it getting ugly quick for Utah if the Florida team that I would like to see comes out. I think it could get ugly quick, and we could be calling Utah frauds by next week.
so
that's kind of where I'm at.
Mike, boys, this is look, I agree with everything you said about Utah, but you want to talk about a fucking hard place to play your first game of the season. I mean, whew, like I'm not going to push. I'm not trying to push back on your play. I'm just saying, I feel like the line is right. I feel like this is a fair line. The Florida definitely gets points for being at home. And everything you said about if this was a neutral, yes.
Yeah.
Utah's probably a 6-point favorite, maybe 6.5. Because you could argue Florida's getting 3 to 3.5 points for home field advantage itself. Man, this could be like the opportunity is there for Richardson. Like I'm putting myself and this program back on the map. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Richardson's got a lot of hype. He's got NFL hype too. Like this is the best quarterback Florida's had since Tebow. So I mean,
That ain't saying much.
it's not. No, it's not. But it's still look, man. It's Florida, dude. Like there's always going to be talent on both sides of the ball at Florida. Like they've had problems. We know that. I would almost kind of be looking more maybe towards the under 51. I think that might be a little high. But I'm hyped for this. I'm the most excited for this game. Like, yeah, Ohio State, Notre Dame, great. Like two big name programs. That's a 17 point spread. Like that has the potential to get ugly quick. Like this is a 2.5 point spread, 3-point spread. This is a classic case of we know Utah's the better team, but the equalizer is they're playing in an extremely difficult environment. And with this potential star quarterback in Florida, like I'm intrigued as fuck by this game. This is the game of the day for me for sure. And I'm not gonna have a plan on myself, so I'll probably I'll remember that you're on Utah, so I'll be hoping they get it done. But that's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, same here. I have no dog. I'm just gonna be watching it to enjoy it. I think this is a game that Utah show us. Are they really the playoff contenders that everybody said they were in the off season? So that's what I got.
Well, they have to win this game, right? Like this is an elimination game for Utah. They cannot lose this game. Even if they ran the Pac-12, I don't think they'd get in. I don't. And then you're assuming they're going to run the Pac-12, which that's extremely difficult. Like there's gonna be somebody like an Oregon or USC that can clip them. You know what I'm saying? So this is, man, the stakes are high for this game. You know what it almost reminds me of? It almost in a way reminds me of last year's Clemson-Georgia game. Not that I think either team is as good as like Georgia,
but the stakes.
That was the stakes of this game. Like Utah is that team outside of the big name, like Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. That can they get into this play? Can they get into the playoffs and get a 3 or 4 seed? I mean, they went to the Rose Bowl last year. They went toe for toe with Ohio State the entire game. They probably should have won that game.
Right.
So like this is a legitimate program, and if they're going to want to make the playoff this year, they have to win tomorrow.
All right. Well, here's to it. Here's to that Utah playoff campaign. Y'all got it here, PJ. First official play, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got one more for you too.
Okay.
And I got my reasons behind this one, but I am probably on the short list of people that, and I hate this program. So I got to have my reasons for why I went with it. I really hate this program, but I really like Notre Dame plus 17. I think that line is too high. I think historically Ohio State, for whatever reason, starts slow. And they do their thing as the year go on, but they always start slow. I think still, I still cannot wrap my mind behind this, but Ohio State still does not have a game-changing defender on their defense. That will still be their Achilles heel. And I think Notre Dame will be able to run on them. And I think it's going to be a lot closer game than it's going to be a lot closer than the line give it credit for. I can see Ohio State still winning by 10, 14 points, but 17 I think is too much.
So where are you at as far as the points? Because I have an official play on the total I'm going to give out once you're done with your analysis. Where are you at? The total's 59. Like you think this is so with your analysis of you think they're going to cover, are you saying that this is going to be like a tighter, lower scoring type game? Because I don't think. Okay.
I could see a 24, 17, 24, 21.
Wow, that's bold.
I know Ohio State can score, and that's But I mean, Notre Dame ain't been one to just give up a million points to anybody. It's week 1 too, So it's and don't get me wrong, Stroud for Heisman. I believe he's going to win it this year, but I don't believe this is his coming out party. Not this week. I don't think this is the one.
Okay, well, let me ask you this too, because my official play on this game, Quan, get ready for that graphic. I'm going over the 59 with Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's my official play, and I want to push back a little bit because
if you're seeing over 59, then you would have to have Ohio State covering that 7.
I have Ohio State scoring at least 45.
Notre Dame with a new quarterback ain't scoring 45.
Okay, well, so this is the point though. This is where my question is for you, because if you're taking a 17-point dog like that, you need to ask yourself, can they backdoor a number? Is this an offense that you think can backdoor a number? Because we know Ohio State can put up points on anybody. So do you think exactly, garbage time touchdown, the back door. Like, you think this Notre Dame offense can, muster up those second half points? Or do you think you really think this is going to be tight all the way? Man, I just don't see it.
It's like I said, Ohio State doesn't have their typical dogs in that front 7. I think Notre Dame spends a lot of time they spend a lot of time on the ground, time possession. They're going to control it. They're going to try their best to control the time of possession.
That's their only prayer. Like, you cannot get into a shootout with Ohio State, or else you're going to lose. Like,
that's every team in the country.
I agree with you as far as the critique about the Ohio State defense. Like, that was their Achilles heel last year. That's what cost them the season, right? Like, remember Oregon? Oregon was a 14.5-point dog when they went to Ohio State week 2. Everybody just thought Ohio State was going to truck them. That line opened at like 12 and then just got bet up. And man, Oregon just ran all over them. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing with that Ohio State defense. And then look what happened in the Michigan game. And there were other games where they were giving up points. So I don't know if they're going to be.
Nothing's changed there. They're still who's the guy on the that takes over a game?
It's a legitimate question. That's why I think Notre Dame can get a couple touchdowns, but I think I would be more inclined to think that Ohio State covers the number. Just because so much has to go right for Notre Dame to cover that number. Like, they're really going to have to play their game. They're going to have to grind out first downs. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to bend, don't break type defense, because Stroud and Henderson and Mike, pronounce the receiver's name, the star, with the 3 names. Yeah. Who a lot of scouts say he's better than Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. And Schwab said that too.
I've heard other people.
We had a heated debate on that one last year.
Bro, I've heard other scouts say that. So, like, this Ohio State offense has the capability to be all-time great. I'm going there. Like, I'm going there. I really think so. And as far as the defensive question with Ohio State, like, that's going to matter when we get to time where maybe they got to play Georgia, or maybe they got to play Bama, but in that Big Ten schedule and Notre Dame, like, yeah, okay. Even if Ohio State's defense gives up 21 to Notre Dame, you really don't think they're going to score in the 40s?
Yeah.
I don't week 1.
Well, y'all know I'm staying away from this one as an Ohio State fan. Saying Stroud for Heisman, though. So,
hey, I'm with you. If you want this to turn into like a 41-38 game and Notre Dame covers and that game gets over to 59, that's fine. But, I would be a little nervous just taking these big numbers against Ohio State.
Yeah. All right. Well, so
I think they're getting too much love out there.
Let's say this too. That number opened like 14 and a half, and it sat there for weeks and a while in the summer. So I would not be recommending a play right now on Ohio State minus 17, even with the analysis I gave, just from a pure, statistical betting perspective. You had a number that sat there for weeks. Like, nothing changed. Nothing changed between these two teams. No big injury. There's no suspension. There's nothing that's really different. So you're just betting. If you're betting the 17, you're betting a bad number. If you're taking the 17, okay. Like, I can at least respect that from a from a analytical standpoint as far as the numbers go. But I can't recommend a play at 17. That number sat at 14, 14.5 for all summer.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just recap our picks today. Appreciate you, gentlemen, for your acumen. Uh, so we got Michigan at minus 30.5. Houston minus 4.5, but you can now get it at minus 3.5. Appalachian State and NC game total minus 110. And Shayne gave that out as a 2-timer. And then we got the over in the Ohio State Notre Dame game, over 59. P-Jack, you got Utah minus 2 at Florida. And
2.5.
P-Jack, you also got Notre Dame plus 17. So there y'all have it. Those are our first
State
official plays of the year.
Don't forget
Uh,
Michigan State tonight, minus 21.
oh yeah, Michigan State minus 21 too. Thanks, PJ. So and that's Michigan State. Who they got again? Western Michigan, right?
Western Michigan. That game is currently underway.
Okay. So maybe y'all could catch it live even if y'all like that. Thanks again, Shayne, because I definitely got I got Penn State live last night, man. Minus 3.5. Hook their ass.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Let's go. So thank y'all for tuning in to Quality Bets. I'm your host of the most, Mike. My boy Shayne. We're gonna be getting y'all a lot of money. PJ gonna jump on when he can, man, and get us paid as well. So till next time, cha-ching. Let's get it.
Adios.